Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to our EU4 game with RedBstrd as Hindustan, where we started as Delhi, now formed glorious Hindustan, and we're just basically running rampant over China. Ayutthaya is our ally, and they've got some nice looking borders now. They're pretty powerful. Ottomans are our ally. And they haven't really done all that much recently. We closed off any opportunities for them to push further into Persia, closed off the Arabian Peninsula to them, allied to Ethiopia, so if they attack Ethiopia, we would crush them. Can't go up into Russia or Imereti, who is a Russian ally. We could push west into Tunis, but that's their ally. So their only real options for advancement would be pushing into somewhere like Wallachia. But Wallachia and Poland both have decided, Poland and the Ottomans have both decided that Wallachia can't belong to the other one, so they're both guaranteeing it. And I think they both want to deny it to France as well, who's probably, well, France is not hostile to, well, they're friendly with Poland. Yeah, France is getting pretty big. They're conquering a lot of Spain. They're starting to push into the Holy Roman Empire. Maybe they're doing that diplomatically. I don't know. Can't say for certain. Ooh, and France rules over Brandenburg. We totally need to get into a war with them later on into the game just to see what kind of just evil they can unleash on the battlefield with that big of a France, that big of a Brandenburg together on one side, allied to Poland. That could be like our endgame boss that we need to defeat. But regardless, we're allied to Russia, who's getting bigger, and they're slowly moving east into Siberia. And we're not colonizing, so that doesn't bother us. We're going to have a nice long border with Russia. It's just a question of how much we split up Bukhara and Tabaristan between the two of us. Yes, there's a fortification expert that we discovered. We could hire him as a military engineer against his wishes, or we could let Kashgar get some permanent bonuses to defensiveness, or since we're well connected, we could get a better military engineer at half the cost. But let's go ahead and get the permanent bonus, because if we wanted a fortifications expert, we could get a fortifications expert. We could just go in here and we could hire one. Instead, we're going to upgrade this +2 guy with morale to a +3 person with discipline. One part of China that we're not going to be able to get is Taiwan, which is in the South China region, but it belongs to our Ottoman allies. So they're actually going to try attacking us here. It's farmlands, so even as the province controller, they're not going to get big bonuses. We don't have as many cannons in this army as we do with some of our better ones, and our general's pretty bad. Oh, but they're a good general. Now those cannons, they might... Yeah, looks like they've got a good chance of winning this battle. Gonna come down to the wire. We'd rolled a few better rolls. We could have sent them packing. I think they have a slightly higher chance of winning that battle than we do. Yeah, they got it. It's this guy with a really good general. 4520. Oh, good for them. No one wants their wars to be boring. And they're adding a little bit of excitement to the whole thing. Okay, we're facing an uprising somewhere here. But we'll just send this army over there to crush them. And Ning wants to give us peace. They didn't ask nicely enough. Ooh, what we should do to Ning. First of all, take that fort. Because that was rude of them to stop us. We didn't say they could do that. Oh, it was Wu who did that anyway. Let's have a rematch here. Did that to one of my armies. Can you do it to a second one? Maybe. Let's go ahead and capture this fort. I do want to inflict some damage on Ning. It's not critical those guys get back over there as quickly as possible, so we're going to leave them there to liberate that province. And Manchu wants peace, but... Sorry, we can't give it to him yet. Okay, so they're coming over here to try engaging our army again. Apparently they don't recognize the fact that we are... Now they're moving back this direction. Let's say, apparently they don't recognize the fact that we're in highlands with a terrain bonus, even with slightly higher numbers for them. I think they'd be doomed. Let's try to meet them here in these farmlands. Jungle isn't ideal territory to be fighting in, but that's where we're going to meet up with them. Who am I to deny them a glorious, honorable battle? Man, they're good. Okay, but we won, and we sent them packing. And we did capture this fort. Let's see what we could do to Ning. So we could break their alliances if we wanted to, but I think we want to force them to... So we got 77 war score. We could kick that country out of them. It's 2 provinces. Force them to break off relations. And take 100 of their ducats. They'll deny them 1 of their forts. Yeah, let's do that. Now we can put down the rebels with this army and finish mopping up Wu. Okay, so they couldn't retreat through the territory they wanted to retreat through, apparently. So they engaged in battle with us again. And we defeated them in that battle. Ooh, we could get even further ahead of time. Let's just revel in our power. Now we're 20 years ahead of time. Let's upgrade our cavalry right now because it's such a small percentage of our army that won't really affect our morale. We'll wait on upgrading those infantry until after we've put down these rebels at the bare minimum. So yeah, let's upgrade them. Only had 1 choice there, so there's nothing to compare. And let's see if we can chase after this army. I don't know exactly where it's going. It was going to there. Manchu wants out of the war. I don't blame them. Want to test our new army. Okay, charity for the poor. Sure, 640 ducats for some piety. Pretty expensive. They're trying to move here. Let's see if we can meet them there. A meet and greet. This is defensive terrain for them, and their troops are really good. So I'm giving them quite the opportunity here. It is kind of fun. Let's bring together these units, prepare them for a battle. Okay, so let's just compare our troops. So we have 15 discipline more than they do. They have more morale than us. And we've got better military tactics. They deal 10% more fire damage, that really helps them, and this really good general helps them. And of course, the terrain helps them. They lost the vast majority of their cannons, which is going to drastically reduce their ability to inflict damage. So most of their damage is coming from that fire modifier that they had. And cannons were probably producing the majority of that firepower, obviously. Okay, you've made a good show of it. Woo! You don't have to feel bad about what we're going to do to your country. So let's see, what do they have in terms of Ming's cores? Just that one. So then why don't we just take some forts from him? Not ready for that? Oh, we need some sort of fort in this region. We take their capital. That sounds like it's overly punishing. Take this? Could, but we couldn't easily get there. Maybe we'll just... yeah, that's a good idea. We'll unite the different parts of Ming a little bit better. Let's take some cash from 100 ducats. Now some of this, 2 of these provinces I believe are going to us. Yeah, 2 of the provinces are, and we'll just award them to Ming after the war is over. That's not a problem. And now we can just sign our peace deal with Manchu, taking whatever we want. So we wanted to give those 2 provinces away. We wanted to take those. We wanted the gold mine. Now these borders might not be the prettiest borders we've ever had, but it is closing off Manchu a little bit from like Russian aggression. And we'll take all of their cash. Okay, so Ming picked up some territory all over the place. They need these 2 provinces, so let's go ahead and award them. Go to our main country view and go to subjects. Ming is one of our subjects. We grant them, we just click on them and grant them a province. It's in reverse alphabetical order, which is really weird. And giving them this will reduce their liberty desire by 6, and it'll give them, increase their overextension up to 62. So they still have 14 liberty desire, but we'll give them running. And now their liberty desire is down to 11. And we're going to move this army back onto their territory. And we do want to reduce that overextension. We're going to work on that as soon as we can. We've only got 55%, so that's not bad. We'll figure out where to send these armies. I think stationing one up here and one down here is probably ideal. Yeah, it seems like an appropriate move. Because then we'll have one in each of the parts of them. Ruler died, so we have to pass our new policies. And we're just going to pass them both because they give us prestige, or piety. And our piety tanked a little. Okay, we can lighten the Dhimmi tax burden again. And we will probably need new royal marriages with our allies and subjects. So let's get one here with Ming. These ties didn't break. It depends on who offers him. So if we offered them something when our monarch dies, the royal marriage ends. If they offer it, it's when their monarch dies. I'm not sure why that's the case. There might be a mechanical reason why they do it that way. But that's a rule set. We don't want to deal with too many rebels here, so we're just going to go to our production interface and take a look at the autonomy interface, which tells us how much autonomy provinces have, how much unrest, and lets us increase or decrease autonomy as we wish. So we're going to increase autonomy. As you can see, that's lowering the unrest by 10. Now we noticeably did not do it in one of our provinces. This one, because that's gold one. We didn't do it here because the autonomy is already up to 84. We can't increase it further. Or we can get some new claims on Manchu. They're upset. Don't take it personally. It's not personal. You needed to die. Okay, we still have a truce with Tabaristan, but we do not have one with Bukhara. So as soon as this war ends, assuming we still can find some territory to declare on. We got claims in all 4 of those provinces. As long as some of those remain outside of Russian hands, we'll declare a war on Bukhara and try to finish them off. Yep, a little bit survived, and I think we have a claim there. We do. So they're still guaranteed by Tabaristan. Do you guys know how this is going to end? Because I know how this is going to end. Tabaristan would enter the war on their side on top of it. Crazy. And we're having some Bukharan separatists pop up here. We'll hold them responsible for that uprising and punish them appropriately. So let's shift around our generals. We want some guys with some siege with both armies. We do have some war exhaustion. It's going down every month that we're at peace. We are suffering attrition with several armies now, so this one, let's split them up. And the other two are just getting ready for war, so they're okay. Our Emirs want some help financially. Yeah, we'll give it to them. We can make money back pretty easily. Happy New Year. Since we have a truce, With Baristan, we can't mark them as a co-belligerent. What I'm going to do is send our cavalry here to capture this province, and then send the rest of the army up here. Because cavalry really don't help in the siege anyway. And let's just go straight for their capital as soon as they join the war. And then once we capture this, we'll shift these other armies westward. Since we have some debt, I'm going to raise war taxes. And we eliminated Bukhara's army right away. Barstan's army is holding a little bit better. They survived the encounter, but they've been pushed west. All right. Have to wait a month or so and we can fabricate another claim on Manchu. And eventually we're not going to need to fabricate claims. Once we get into the age of imperialism, we won't need to do that. And we're nearly there. We just need our diplomatic technology to be a little bit better. And I'll discuss that when we get into that range, how exactly it works. We're 21 minutes into this video, so we'll keep it up for a few more minutes. Captured Choi. Not sure. We're gonna call it Chewie though, because it reminds me of Chewbacca. It just sounds better. Just gonna keep coring stuff here, because we can't give this off to a vassal, this stuff that we're conquering. Going for whatever we can. There, I think that's all we really need to do. Instead, we'll use our diplomats to improve relations with our allies. We see lots of Ottoman troops walking through Ayutthaya. They must be fighting somebody still. Yeah, they're having problems with Sunda. And I just know something hilarious there. So Sunda's at war with Ottomans and Ottoman Australia. Ottoman Australia. No, that's Trinité. So there's no Ottoman Australia down here. We can't see it. But if we click on the Ottoman territory and go to their diplomatic mode, you can see Ottoman stuff. You see that this is all colored in as green. That's all Ottoman Australia. Yeah, the Ottomans are one of the dominant colonial powers in Southeast Asia. And we obviously could have snatched up all of that well before they could, if we were a colonial power. So let's just take a look at the rest of the world. We've been kind of ignoring stuff outside of our part of the world. The French have colonized South Africa for the most part. The British got in there a little bit, and there's a tiny presence by Leinster. Scotland has been getting into the game a little. The Congo Basin is split between Kazembe and the Dongo. Rwanda took over the Lake Victoria, sort of Three Lakes, Great Lakes region of Central East Africa. And Ethiopia's been really passive. They really should have taken over Kaffa long before this and beaten up Elodian Funge. Mali dominates West Africa. And Morocco was successful in their war, but they didn't take much. I don't know what they took. That's disappointment. They should have humbled Aragon. They're pushing down here. The Iberian Peninsula is split between Aragon, whose most of their power is in Italy, southern Italy, the Sicily region, medieval Sicily, not modern day Sicily, which is just this, but the Kingdom of Sicily. Then Portugal, Castile, and France. Of course, France is the strongest of those powers, as they have a power base outside of Iberia. England's been passive. They haven't gone for Scotland, as Scotland is allied to Sweden and France, both of which are pretty powerful powers. Poland must have gotten a personal union over Norway at some point, because they control all of Norway's territory. Denmark's been reduced to a one-province minor, as far as I can tell. Yeah, that looks to be the case. But not only does Poland own this Norway, they also own Iceland, which indicates that they did get it in a personal union. Our maps over the New World aren't great, but this is pink-colored or reddish-colored, so it's probably an English colonial subject. I can see some other stuff that's yellow, so it's either Scotland or Castile, both of which are colonial powers in this game. And Scotland and France. Portugal have been splitting up Brazil. That's a mess. They should be ashamed of themselves for those borders. And we can see an independent, or a Scottish Argentina. And Rio de Prata, which is a Portuguese colony. We don't know what much the rest of this region is, but there's green color here. And just see a hint of it, so probably Portugal conquered Mexico. You know, historical. Netherlands are pretty big and powerful, but they have a weak alliance system. And they've probably been focusing on colonization, my guess, since they have a Nova, or New Holland, and a New Netherlands, that they are probably the dominant colonial power in North America. And this color is the same kind of sort of lavender color of Brittany. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brittany had colonized down here, and then all of their stuff on the European mainland was conquered by France. Because Brittany might still exist somewhere. It's hard for us to be able to know for certain if it's not on our maps. Let's see, can we see a Brittany? We can't see a Brittany. But it's only going to list them if they show up on our maps, so we really don't know. Check out who's got the highest income. Still us, by a huge margin over France. France's income has grown when they took over some of this Aragon region of Iberia, pushed east, and took over Hungary. The Emperor remains Austria, and they haven't been able to do much to pass reforms, which we haven't talked a lot about. Crimea was allied to Ottomans, and they've lost that. Russia has some permanent claims on them from forming Russia, so I can't imagine that they'll survive much longer. If the Russian AI is at all smart, which it should be, they'll conquer that region. And let's see how long. 29 minutes. We're going to stop the video there. So thank you for watching. If you found this helpful or informative, please consider liking the video and or subscribing to my channel. And as always, if you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. And have fun enjoying this game.